Welcome back everyone. We're here again for this Saturday's main event, the sprint race. The duration is half the time of tomorrow's race, but the level of competition on the track is the same. The cameras are accompanying us to the starting grid, where engineers and mechanics are checking the final details before the start.
Your San Marino Grand Prix grid sees Jorge Martin launch from pole position ahead of Bezzecchi and Bagnaia. Maverick Vinales is in P4, KTM Miller a row further back. While completing your grid is Franco Morbidelli, Takaki Nakagami, Fabio De Gianantonio, Joan Mir and Paul Espargaro.
We're ready for action here at the Misano circuit. Eyes on the lights, the San Marino Grand Prix is about to start. We are set to go here at Misano, it's full throttle, lights out and we are going. San Marino is a superb launch from that 10th MotoGP pole from Jorge Martin. He leads the way, just as he did in the sprint yesterday. Marco Bezzecchi's got away well too. Bagnaia didn't get a good start. Pedrosa has a moment there on the rear as he squeezed the power on towards turn 2. He was briefly in 3rd place, but Pedrosa back in P4 where he started.
Yeah, Pedrosa had a fantastic start, and I thought he was going to high side there through turn 2, but he is back into 4th place where he finished the sprint yesterday. That looks like Brad Binder siding through up the inside of Maverick Vinales. Binder hasn't fallen short where he did yesterday by getting a poor start. He's away well this time, straight up into 5th.
He bars his way through the pack yesterday, didn't they? Picked their way through the flares that went off pre-race. Could barely find out who it is. I'm thankful that Pecco Bagnaia's got the bright yellow Ducati out there today, because vision not really easy, is it? As they pick their way through. Martin leads, Bagnaia then in 2nd place. We're right on board with the world champion through Tremonto for the first time. Bezzecchi in 3rd place. Marc Marquez, he's already up into 8th spot on the factory Honda.
Really good start for Miguel Oliveira. He's up 3 into 7th place, just ahead of the Marquez brothers. Aleix Espargaro is 10th. He's lost 4 places off the line, so 4 starts for the 2 factory Aprilias. Aleix Espargaro has actually dropped behind Luca Marini now into 11th. Bagnaia, who we know is so good on the brakes, and he carries a tighter line there than Martin, who goes slightly wide into 4 and 5. Martin really backing up the world champion early on. Stunning
Onboard footage this, isn't it, between Martin and Bagnaia. They power down and they'll just click 6th gear briefly under that Red Bull bridge. It's Marco Bezzecchi into Quercia corner. Bezzecchi goes through. Well, he put that mistake at turn 10 behind him on the previous lap very quickly, did Marco Bezzecchi. He then hits 2nd place.
Beautiful move that from Bezzecchi, although he's coming hot again for the 2nd lap in a row into Tremonto. So all that hard work that he did, what was a brilliant move on the brakes into Quercia. He's now going to make that move all over again.
Oh, he's going to be kicking himself inside that helmet right now, Marco Bezzecchi, because it was a beautiful move to get into that 2nd place on Pecco Bagnaia on the brakes into turn number 8. Not an easy place to overtake there. So easy to just running that little bit hard. And then all went wrong 2 corners later. Although he's immediately, once again, got straight back onto the rear tyre of Bagnaia.
Talk about the contrast from one Sunday to the next for Aleix Espargaro. He's down in 13th place at the moment. A shocking afternoon so far for the factory Aprilia man, who didn't get the start, lost places on that 1st lap from the 2nd row of the grid. He's again, he started 6th in this race. Aleix Espargaro is in 13th. He's in a battle with the 2 Frenchmen. Joan Zarco ahead of him in 12th and Fabio Quartararo just behind him 14th.
Well, this is Quartararo's problem. He's probably got the better speed than Aleix Espargaro. They're pretty ahead of him, but he just can't find a way through. Here's a replay then of Aleix Espargaro's botched start, it looks like. We're on board with the double Catalunya winner last weekend. Yeah, did not get away well at all, did he, on that RSGP? Immediately swallowed up. Oh, Brad Binder's crashed out. Brad Binder is coming up on our screens. We're looking at this replay. Brad Binder has crashed out of 4th place. That was the big rear tyre slide for Dani Pedrosa, which checked up the field behind him. He made a really good start, hadn't he? We still look at these replays as there's contact there between Bagnaia and Bertsecki, but Brad Binder has crashed out of 4th place. Jack Miller's got a track limits warning, so we'll try and find out then what happened to the South African Brad Binder. We just saw it on the previous lap. Martin Bagnaia and Bertsecki picked up their speed, going to the 131s. It was just too hot for Binder to handle.
Turn 14. There it is, into turn 14. The yellows briefly came out in the 4th sector just before we went into that replay to show you what happened with Aleix Espargaro and Brad Binder crashing out of the race. So any hopes of a KTM podium now once again rest on the shoulders of Dani Pedrosa, who is matching the race leaders for pace, but he's 2 seconds off the back of the leading trio.
Yellow flags.
Yeah, KTM's afternoon just got worse, Matt, because it was Jack Miller and Michele Pirro who were plummeting down the order. They were running together in 14th, 15th and 16th, and there you can see both bikes there on the outside of turn 4. That was where Jack Miller crashed out here last year, and he's gone down with Michele Pirro. So both of the factory KTM's down on consecutive laps.
Yeah, and caught up in that as well was Fabio Di Gianantonio, wasn't he? We just caught the back end of that. It looked like maybe Miller was ahead of Pirro on circuit. We won't apportion blame until we've seen the full into that one. What is not up for dispute is that both of them are out of this Grand Prix. A bit of a disastrous day for KTM, to say the least. Upholding their one now is the wild card, the old warhorse himself, Dani Pedrosa in 4th place. Bertsecki though, it starts.
Sprint yesterday. He's got one more lap to try and snatch a first MotoGP podium for quite some time.
4.2 kilometres then stand between Pecco Bagnaia and a superhuman effort to take a home podium here, and Dani Pedrosa completing a fairy tale for the factory KTM team. They come through turn 3 then. Pedrosa still not close enough. This is one of the overtaking hotspots gone into turn 4, into Rio. So now it's all about using that superior edge grip that he has to try and just close in on Bagnaia. Out of turn 6 they come, and Pedrosa's going to be nowhere near enough to attack him on the brakes into turn 8 as well.
As predicted, Luca Marini has made his way past both Rafa Fernandez and Marc Marquez, so Marini now up into 7th place, although just as I say that, he's lost those places back again. No problems really on the plate of Jorge Martin right now, although his lead has come down to 1.4 seconds. The focus is all on this battle. Bagnaia versus Pedrosa. Pedrosa really needs a good run here through 11, 12 and 13 to be closer to 14, but I'm not sure he is close enough.
Pecco Bagnaia is the football equivalent to parking the bus, isn't he? 11 men behind the ball. He defends so brilliantly. He did it in the sprint yesterday against Pedrosa. He did it 8 days ago in the sprint against Maverick Vinales. It looks like he is going to hang on to a really, really hard-fought and hard-earned podium here to limit the damage in terms of the championship. He is going to hold up Dani Pedrosa, who's throwing everything at him, but here comes Jorge Martin out of the final corner. Martin is the Mazzano maestro in MotoGP. He completes the dream double victory. He won the sprint yesterday from start to finish. He wins the Grand Prix today from start to finish. Jorge Martin then wins to close the gap to Pecco Bagnaia in the World Championship. Marco Bertsecki, 2nd place for him, as Joseph Capriati waves the checkered flag. We'll be hearing some of his tunes, the DJ post-race. Bagnaia then does hold on for an incredible podium, one of the toughest podiums of his Grand Prix career. It is 2 4th places for Dani Pedrosa. He could almost smell that. While the riders enjoy a well-deserved lap of honour, let's take a look at the final ranking of this race.